started, my brother and me shared a bedroom, and he was 8 years older than me. Me and him shared a room from when I was born right up until I went to about 8. When I went to 12, he moved out actually. But we shared a bed till I was 8. But he used to come home late at night and draw. And he loved comics, and he'd always be sitting up drawing comics, and he'd wake me, of course, because we were in the same room, same bed. And he started showing me. He taught me, really kind of got me interested in drawing. Went on to do graphic design as soon as I finished secondary school. I did a graphic design course, but I found it was too much sitting in front of a computer, too much, fiddly diddly, not enough art practice involved in it. So I left that then, and I applied for the fine art course. And I built my portfolio for fine art actually while I was working in a factory at night time, just drawing the different machinery. They told me I was too graphic for fine art, which was, kind of the opposite to when I was doing the graphic course. I was too arty for graphics. In college, you really go through the motions. They strip you right down. Anything you can do, they won't let you do. So if you're good at drawing observational stuff, you're not allowed to draw it anymore. If you're good at drawing stuff from your mind, you're not allowed to do it. So they force you to do something you're not comfortable with, which of course helps you learn. I teach portfolio classes, kind of, when they're doing their Leaving Cert and they're trying to get into college. I'll teach that. What I do is when I work on a one-to-one, I do what was done to me in college. Whatever they're comfortable with, I don't let them do. So I flip it over. People don't really understand, I think, how much work goes into them. It's expensive, you're buying the canvas, you're buying the wood, you're making the canvas, you're stretching it, you're priming it. That's even before you start painting it. And then you've got like 8 hours a day doing the paintings, especially because I work in oils. There's a lot of drying time involved. And the way I work is I work in layers. So I'll paint the painting in a thin layer, almost like watercolor, but with the oil and the turpentine. So it's a very thin layer, and then you let that dry and set, and then you'll do a kind of a second layer, which the paint will be just a little bit thicker, more malleable, and then you paint the entire painting again, and it gives a kind of just a better, stronger image, and then you let that dry, and then you start working on the third layer, which is mostly oil paint. When I start the next one, like when I'm actually physically painting the next body of work, I'll be working on the one after like 2 more. So I'm constantly kind of 2 moves ahead. The next body of work is going to be incorporating patterns and people. So if you can imagine a Lilliput, the little people from Gulliver's Travels, running across a double layered patterned wallpaper. I know it's a bit hard to explain verbally, but kind of ladders and constructions, but on these very detailed patterned works. Because you get ideas everywhere. You always carry sketch pads like everywhere I go. Little fold-out ones. I have little leather ones with pockets for pencils. I love Leonardo da Vinci's drawings. These drawings are they're just fantastic. If you've ever seen them actually up close, in reality, they're fantastic. Just the way he drew them, and they're light and they're over, and then he'd draw one over on top of it. He'd draw one over on top of it. It's just fantastic stuff. My work itself has changed because I've gotten better. I understand what better work is. I can see now a painting, even hanging in cafes and stuff, where you're kind of going, that is a terrible painting. Not that the visual, the image of it is bad, not the composition or anything, but just that it's not painted very well. Diddly.